Welcome everybody to live web streaming coverage of HOUTEX 33 here at Memorial Park Tennis Center, Houston, Texas. On tap is the men's singles open division consolation match. Jake Bishop versus John Whitney. The players have finished warming up and now they're getting ready to start. Joining us back in the booth again, Trouble 1 and Trouble 2, John Garika and Matt Feinberg.
Hey, everyone.
Congratulations, Hi. John, on your match.
Thank you. Thank you.
You almost blew it in the first set. I was about to come in there and slap the shit out of you, but you got yourself together.
I know. I got a little nervous. I hunkered down, though. I'm glad. I was very happy with pulling that out today. We'll see how... Thank you. We'll see if my buddy Jake can do the same. John Whitney is a veteran of the GLTA Tour. He's a serve and volleyer. We're going to see lots of just like that. It's a fantastic volley.
Yeah.
John's an experienced doubles player, and he uses that on the singles court as well. He lost a tough first-round match to Bud Warrison. Steady Bud. Jake lost his first match to Chandler Morgan from Houston. So they're looking for some redemption today.
A little bit. I actually played John Whitney last night in doubles.
What do you think of his game?
He's an interesting lefty. His favorite serve appears to be out wide on the deuce side, which is not a very common occurrence for those big left-handed serves. So
he's having an easy go-round of this first service game. Everyone's getting a little acclimated to the court here.
That's a great serve.
It's a tough. Jake also has a good serve. I think John is a doubles player, so it's his serve and return are going to be his strong suits. Jake wants to get in rallies with him today, make him move around the court, and if he can do that, if he can make these points go a little longer, we're going to see a match here. Otherwise, if John can keep these points nice and short and good serves and some good first volleys, this could go John's way, but Jake's determined. He has the game plan.
I'd asked Jake earlier in the last match, what would you guys rather play, a lefty or a righty, or does it make a difference to you?
Oh, for me, for sure, I would rather play a righty because everybody I play against in practice is a righty.
Jake practices against a left-handed player all the time. With me, I'm left-handed, so I think he's a little more used to it. John has a better forehand than I do, so it's a little strange. Well, that's right on cue. Thanks, John. Right on cue. Making me look good here. But
it's still early. Everyone's got to get the kinks out.
Jake and I
wait for the evening gown competition.
Yes, that's tonight. Miss Universe is tonight, everyone.
We already talked about.
Set your DVRs.
You're 2000 late, John.
I'm also excited about Miss Universe. That's a great forehand. It's a great shot from Jake. That's what we want to see today.
It's a smart play.
Jake's weapon is his forehand. He also has that true grit. What did he say yesterday? He said he described his game in the post-match conference yesterday.
As janky?
No, he said.
Just kidding.
He said scrappy.
He did. He has
self-described scrapper.
He's described his doubles game at least as scrappy.
Ooh, that's a beautiful
monster.
Shot. That shot was a monster. He hit in the court. No, is that a song not popular yet? Eminem. It's number 1 on iTunes though. Come on, everybody.
I think it could help Jake a lot if he could hit to John's backhand on the serve. That's where I found my most success last night. Jake and I both have fairly flat first serves.
I have to admit, I'm glad he's playing right now because we have a big doubles match after this. So I'd love that he's getting his feet wet on the court. I just had a three setter, so I feel fine. I feel a little looser, but it's always tough when your doubles partner's sitting around. So this is good that he's out and the blood's flowing.
And John might give Jake a little bit of a warm up for Mr. Tony Tran, the big hitting doubles opponent to come. That's just a good forehand.
It's a fantastic point. That was a great
Nice
first
and
serve from Jake.
aggressive. Nice footwork from John over there, getting into the net quickly. Hit that big forehand.
Yeah, John likes the pace, so Jake has to mix it up a little bit today. He has a really nice slice backhand. He likes to mix it up too. I think that's what's...
I think that's a bunch of serves that have gone straight to John's forehand.
Yep.
So even if Jake has to take a little bit of the pace off, I think it's important for him to try and get it to the backhand at least as much as possible.
These courts play a little faster here. This is a public park here in Houston, Texas. We're at anyone who hasn't been to Memorial Park or anyone who hasn't been to Houston. This is a pretty huge park here. It's located.
See, right there.
Yeah, it was huge.
Get it to the backhand.
Yep.
That's where you went. But yes, back to you. Come to Houston.
Come to Houston. It's a beautiful park. It's a big tennis center here. Courts play a little faster, as do typical public courts in a big city.
That's a nice
shot.
He was up big in that service game. Let John back into it. Got to deuce, but wins the next 2 points.
That's a confidence game right there. That's huge. Especially they were playing a pro set today.
Very early. Jake has not played today. John has already played a match.
Ooh, who did he beat earlier today?
It's a good question. Let me look for you.
I think he beat Azarenka this morning.
Or he beat Carlos. He beat Carlos.
Oh, Carlos is sitting right
next to us and did not jump in and tell us.
Thank you, Carlos. He was a little timid about that.
Right. Perhaps Carlos Salazar Slytherin didn't want to tell us that he had lost earlier.
John Whitney beat Carlos Salazar 8-6 this morning to get to this round.
That is a really nice volley off a pretty good return from Jake. I saw that one go past me about 8 times.
It's a little cold today. It's not. It's just the wind will catch you in a little bit, but it's when you're stagnant on the court. But otherwise, it's a beautiful kind of November day. Sun's not out, so it's not bothering the players today.
It's another tough serve from John. This is 2 consecutive left-handed Johns hitting bombs of serves.
No one has ever described my serve as a bomb, but thank you though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Apparently you couldn't hear the sarcasm in my voice. But
yes.
That's fair.
I'm Jon. He's John. It's totally different. But we're 2 lefties though.
Are you really Jon?
Close. My stage name is John.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
That's really, really great. Big left-hand serve out to Jake's forehand. Unexpected spin for the
anyone who could even attempt to do that in their wildest dreams. He completely just took all the pace off that hard shot coming from Jake and just hit a beautiful little dropper. It's a fault.
mean, one of the interesting things about John is that he gets really close to the net while still hitting the ball.
That's a good observation. Yeah, we haven't seen him hit an overhead. How was his overheads yesterday in doubles?
He actually missed a couple of overheads, but sometimes I think that's more because I can't hit a clean lob to save my life, and so the ball is swirling around. The other thing that sort of got to John and his partner last night is because they had a very long wait. So
it's true. It's 2-1 John Whitney right now. We're at our second break. Changeover.
On serve here, though.
On serve. So tonight's the banquet. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? I asked you first. What are you wearing tonight?
I believe I'm going to wear the pink chiffon.
Pink chiffon. I'm going cheetah. So we will. Yeah.
Tights?
I haven't decided. I'm definitely leggings. We'll see after doubles how confident I'm feeling. I have a tiara that I got in the shape of the Eiffel Tower. And
are you wearing the green glitter shorts that you wore yesterday?
You know what? I hope we're on on the TV court, our next doubles match. We're wearing another fantastic doubles outfit coming up.
And
Sure to please.
And maybe a little peekaboo tattoo.
Oh, a little peaky tattoo,
A
yeah.
tramp stamp, perhaps.
Oof.
Of your doubles alter egos.
Casey
Delacqua and Ashley Barty.
And Ashley Barty. We'll see how it goes. If we look at that last point, this is another great example of what Jake needs to do. It's keeping these points longer. John wants to smack the ball. Jake doesn't mind it, but I think the strategy here is to keep the balls going.
Right. I think one of
this squirrel has been the biggest fan today. It is. It is like it loves to play chicken. Can anyone see the squirrel? It's just a slow one too.
So
that's nice.
John being polite.
Squirrelet. I mean, only in Houston do people get squirrelets.
And of course, when you're nice to your opponent and you give them a let, they always hit a first serve, and you make an error. That's the story of my life.
It pays to be nice sometimes. You've heard of karma.
I have so much bad karma from the rest of my life being an evil lawyer that I try and give it on the court. What I do not put up with is unnecessary grunting.
Okay, so not an Azarenka fan.
Right.
Oh, that's a great
That's a really good forehand.
So I guess you guys heard the new WTA study now that they're doing about grunting on the court that they're going to be doing now for the next year.
I've heard that, actually. I think it's, I think they teach grunting at such an early age, but I will tell you, even case in point, this match today, I felt like if I can grunt a little bit, it just makes you feel like you're in it, though, sometimes. Maybe not.
We talked about that.
Yeah?
We mentioned your grunting.
Really?
Yeah.
It comes out sometimes, and I like when it comes out because I try to be organic with it, but when it comes, I feel like I'm in the point. So maybe I can feel like on a professional level, maybe they feel like they're you have to be so focused when you're playing pro tennis. So maybe it correlates. I have no idea.
Does the grunting really bother people?
No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest.
That was a great shot.
It bothers me when I'm watching. I don't even hear it when I'm playing.
Mm.
So, and I have played. Washington, D.C. is famous for some of its grunters. For instance, we have one grunter who will remain nameless, who their entire game is to take all of the pace off the ball, and yet they grunt louder than anyone I've ever heard.
Maybe it's a focus thing then. I mean, I feel like it is with me anyway.
And so we actually asked this person. They said it's about timing for them. They need the verbal cue to measure their pace off of, which is interesting. But it honestly, it doesn't bother me unless I'm watching and not playing, which happens a lot at these tournaments for me.
It gives you more time to commentate.
That's true.
On CCE Sports Network, where diversity lives.
So impressed.
I tried.
And if you appreciate diversity, if you want diversity to continue to live, you should donate.
Absolutely.
There's
5,
a link
10,
on the website.
15, 20. As high as Britney Spears can count is how much you should be donating today.
You should actually donate more than what Britney can.
You're
count.
right. You're right. No, we're putting some more matches on.
Those look like A singles. No, must be A doubles.
A little doubles action. It's doubles
Actually,
time.
I think it's 2 matches, and it's A singles.
Let's go back to court 1. John Whitney serving.
By the way, while we've been talking amongst ourselves, it became 2-all.
It is 2-all here.
So one of the interesting things you may see during this broadcast, that Jake Bishop is a little bit like Ana Ivanovic in that he seeks affirmation from his player's box a lot. And since his player's box is commentating this match, he's going to be looking towards the camera a bit.
I think it's more
when
about
he's on the.
It's a confidence thing
left.
too. It's goes with grunting.
Yes.
I mean, I'm super superstitious on court. Like I have so many little things and quirks that I do all the time.
Now let me ask you guys this: is the cameras intimidating to you guys? Like,
I've never been on camera.
And, is it
So-
intimidating you, John? Do you think about it?
You think about it when you're not playing well.
Or
I think.
when you hit a ball in anger towards the camera.
Yeah. Then I wasn't thinking about it.
Right.
Then I should have thought a little more or been a little more cognizant of it. I wasn't necessarily aiming for the camera.
Thomas had to climb the ladder and fix it.
Thomas, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I usually I'm not an angry person either, but I think that's twice I've done that. Now I feel like it's not the first time.
So that was just a really great serve, but it was just slightly out, just wide. But that's just a great second serve. Deep in the box, stayed flat, lots of pace. If you can, in GLTA tournaments, if you can have a big second serve or a deep second serve, something with a lot of topspin, kick it up, you're going to go a long, long way because that's something that players at this level aren't used to.
Yeah, a serve is what really separates, a different class of players. You see a lot of players out here that have a great one shot or a great, maybe a shot and a half, pretty decent. Oh, it's a good serve. But a serve, I mean, if you're going to pick one thing, look at how Isner's developed over the past couple years. I mean, he based his game around his serve, and it kept him in points, and then he got to develop his ground strokes even more that way. I think if any player has an Isner serve, or regardless of their ground strokes, you could still play at a professional level. It's all about the serve.
I actually saw Isner play when he was in college, when he was young in college.
Georgia boy?
I went to the University of Virginia, which is, at the time, a very pretty physical rivalry with Georgia for the national title. And I saw Somdev Devarnan from UVA play John Isner a lot. And Isner was a completely different player. That serve just developed more and more and more. And
on this level, we can't dream to play like Isner, but I think there's still lots of things that even the club players at home that are listening right now, that I think lessons are super important. I'm sitting next to a teaching pro, so he'll tell you the same thing, but I think playing a lot is great, playing matches is great, but there's been many times in my life where I've had to go back to somebody and critique my shots.
Absolutely.
It's a great shot.
Yeah. I think in addition to, practicing, though, you do need that match toughness. You need to play singles matches. If you come to these tournaments, for instance, myself, I play a lot of doubles in practice, but I don't play a lot of singles. And then I get onto a singles court, and I have a little bit of a head case. I can't focus. And so it's important not only to work on the strokes, but to work on, being in the moment on the singles court. That's a great forehand.
Agreed. That was a great shot. I think
John has come out in this match confident.
And he likes to be the aggressive player. That's his forehand. I think what's great about Jake's game is his mental toughness. Definitely.
Yeah,
I think he's a fighter. He's one of the best fighters out there. He wants
fast.
it. Yeah.
So he's going to get a ball or two that probably he normally wouldn't. I just put a lot of pressure on.
Yep.
People,
I love that about his game. I think that's what's made him get rapidly better the past couple years is that he wants it. He's going to fight for every point. That's a great forehand again.
Really, really strong.
He's got to figure out a way to get it to the backhand a little more. Even if he takes some more pace off and just moonball it a little bit, he's got to make this work a little more.
So Jake, as we've mentioned, this is a consolation match. So both of these players lost their first round main draw matches. One of the problems that Jake was having in that match was that he was playing a player who hit with a lot of pace, and Jake was not able to get the ball deep on the ground strokes. And so he's having a little bit of the same problem today so far.
Well, there he just hit to the backhand, and John stepped in, hit a great backhand. Jake wasn't ready for that one. It was the first decent backhand John's hit the whole match. So,
but I think
good for John.
One thing that will be great for Jake to do is hit the ball a little deeper. Even if you have to take some pace off, keep John pinned on the baseline at least as much as he can. And what John has to do to counter that is stay aggressive. Take away the net and make Jake pass him. And so far he's done a really good job of that.
The strategy for Jake to win today is really clear. It's make these points long.
Right. I mean, maybe throw in a couple moonballs if you have to.
Yep, I agree. Yep, nothing wrong with that. I did it today.
We talked about that as well on the earlier broadcast.
Throwing up some moonballs?
Yeah.
You have to sometimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were very perceptive in our commentary earlier. You know what? I'm okay with that miss right there. Even though it came on break point, he got the good serve in. He got a short ball. And he came in and he knew that he had to hit a deep ball. He went a little too far.
And John Whitney breaks. He's at 4-2 right now, John Whitney.
And he's going to serve again.
Whitney's a Texas boy. Jake lives in... I was going to say, he does not live in New York City, everyone. Anyone who's been to New York, he lives in Astoria, which is a suburb in Queens. Nothing wrong with that.
Fitting.
I go there all the time. I love Queens.
I'm sure that Jake lives there to be closer to the National Tennis Center. So that was a little bit longer on the point. Jake able to move the ball around a little bit more.
If he can go 4 shots with John, I think he wins. I'm going to say he wins 80% of those rallies. And that Jake defended well to get to the backhand, and John made the error.
Yeah.
It's a perfect play. I think let's watch John Whitney serve a little bit and see if he's foot faulting. It's most people do foot fault.
Yes. He has a little bit of GLTA disease. And that's just some people will think that there is an advantage to foot faulting, particularly when someone is serving and volleying, because 6 inches closer to the net can make a huge difference. But
6 inches makes an average difference. I mean, not a huge difference.
Right.
It's okay.
Fair enough. I don't know what kind of differences you're looking for.
Let's focus on John's serve now again. There we go.
And there was a footfall.
Oh, this is a good rally. Yep, and there's a 4-shot rally again.
Part of this is moving John around will take him out of his comfort zone. He won't be able to line up quite as much on those forehands. Well,
we noticed Jake's return was quite deep, and John couldn't come in and serve and volley like he wanted to.
This is a pretty important point.
It's 15:30 here.
Slight opening.
4-2.
Good serve. I think Jake.
Well, Jake's backhand return is going to be the weaker side. I think John's picking on that right now. His forehand is better. His backhand return, once it's in a groove, it's great.
Right.
But I think consistently wise, he's going to want to hit that forehand.
Right. Especially a lefty with a big serve going out to backhands. Tough to get a rhythm early. And frankly, in these consolation matches, there's just not a lot of time to get into the match.
It's so tough. You start. It's like every game is.
Over,
Yeah, you don't want to. I would have. If my first match was a consolation match, I would have lost today. So, sometimes the slower player really needs to kind of. Maybe I wouldn't have. I didn't see that call there.
I didn't see the call either, but we'll find out because John, unlike the John sitting next to me, calls the score before he serves.
I tried to work on it. I really tried to work on it. I said it like 4 times. That's 4 times more than I usually do.
Oh, that's too good,
Great
Jake.
shot.
That's a smart play going back behind him.
It's a fantastic point. And that's
And I guess that was a break. So Jake's forehand was in on the point a couple points ago and then was able to pass. So we're back on serve.
Back on serve, 4-3, John Whitney here.
Jake will serve 3-4. Things just got interesting. Perhaps this is a good time to read some tarot.
Oh, so I wonder if the viewers appreciated the WTA tarot last. I don't know.
I got one text that said that it was great.
How did you do it? And for anyone out there, I'm a huge WTA
Jake
fan.
Drew the cards
Okay.
for both of you.
Okay. Oh, okay. We can do it that way.
So,
Do you have the cards?
I do not have the cards.
Maybe I have them. Let's see.
I will not talk as much about Eleni Dinaladu
Okay.
this time.
Let's
And
see.
there's looks like a cum right on the front. So Gypsy Feinberg will draw. I've sort of hoping for Chanda Rubin and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
All right. So we're you gonna draw a card for?
I'm gonna draw a card for Jake because he's serving. And I believe this card is speaking to me.
Jake loves her. That's Kristina Mladenovic from France.
I love most people whose last names start with two consonants. ML is that's a good one. And John's card, after he hits that big forehand, is very interesting. But you know what? Fitting.
I love it.
Zena Jackson.
Zena Garrison. I love Zena Garrison. Doubles player.
So yeah, and a serve and volleyer from time to time.
From Houston, Texas, by the way.
Houston, Texas. This does
Wow.
not,
The cards don't lie,
know
you
what?
guys. The cards do not lie.
This is not good for Jake.
Yeah.
Now I will say that Zena Garrison has
Home
been
court
retired
advantage.
for about 23 years.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
in a way,
It's home court advantage.
in a way, that's good for Jake. But
Oh, I love
Don't
Zena
mess-
Garrison. I love
do
when
not mess
Zena
with
used to
Zena
return serve, when she used to
the
get her
booty
butt
shake,
down in it.
yes.
Oh. Ooh, a backhand.
And Jake goes for too much. So I always find it interesting that when someone who's just beaten you ends up on a court near you and you're watching them play and they're making lots of errors that they did not make against you, it's sort of...
Are you watching a
I'm
match?
watching a few courts down.
Oh,
That's a great shot from Jake.
There's that forehand he wants to hit today. I mean, that's what's gonna.
Very flat over the high part of the net.
It's a tough point, but he wants to be aggressive too. He's not gonna back down.
And he's got a game point.
This is a point for 4-all to get back even here.
That was a really, really well-constructed point from Jake. He was able to get the second serve to John's backhand, which is very tough. John sees the ball very early. So getting that to his backhand, John was coming in off of it. So he sliced it low, and Jake was able to dip it over the net, cross court.
I mean, he got the break back.
Got the
It's
break.
pressure's back on John to hold serve now. Last 2 games gone to Jake's way. Looks like he's sinking his teeth into this match right now. He's hungry.
He
wants to win.
We haven't been out here that long, but already we're halfway home. I mean,
Yeah, that's a pro set right there. It's already 8 games in.
and they can go quick. You steal the momentum in a pro set, and
See ya.
it's tough to get it back.
See ya.
That's really nice.
Fantastic shot. That's a great shot right there.
This is the kind of point that Jake needs to keep playing.
Oh, I mean, he's
Get the returns
definitely
back deeper.
he's feeling it right now. I mean, this is the past. He's looked a lot better. He's looked alive the past 2 games, and that's a confident shot right there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see how he backs it up right now.
Jake didn't play this morning. John did, and so I think when he got up 4-2, some of that was a little bit of the advanced warm up.
Does that bother you too? My opponent today caught his ball maybe 12 times.
No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think you're just being dramatic. But
Does anything bother you, Matt?
actually, things bother me. For instance, one of the things that bothered me this morning was during warm-ups, I would serve and my opponent would turn his back after I would serve, so that I had to wait, because it's just rude to serve when someone has their back turned. So John got really far into the net there, but he was sort of reaching for that volley. Left the comfort zone and ended up hitting it in the net. So it's another little opening for Jake here. 5:30. Second serve. And true to form, Jake took a little glance over to his player's box for a little encouragement.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Just saying. Still 30 all. It's a really big point. I feel, Cliff Drysdale and Mary Carrillo always said, and Bud Collins always said, the 7th game of every set is the most important. But I think in a pro set, it's actually the 9th game. You got to get a little further. And so, 9th game.
Fantastic first serve. It's a great serve.
First serve.
Yeah. John has to answer back here. He's lost the last couple games. Jake started even strong in this game as well, in the 9th game. So good for John to say, you know what, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Don't forget about me. I'm gonna.
John can win this game. Sort of stops Jake's momentum. I mean, even these out serves make me cringe. How hard it would be to return.
He's going for it though.
Yeah.
I gotta like his machismo.
Yeah.
He's like, I know it's gonna come at me big, but it's 5-4.
He's stepping into that return like Dementieva did.
Jonathan Zena Garrison Whitney is up 5-4. First and only set. It's pro set.
Jake
Mladenovic. You too can have your tarot cards read. We actually do a really fun version of it.
Yeah,
we
talked about that.
This is an abbreviated version, but
the 3rd card is your love card.
The love card, yes. It's the first card is your match card.
I would like to point out that Jake made some sort of unfortunate promise that the cards never lie, and I agreed with him. And then we drew Looks Like a Cum Cum for you against Delaney Diniladu.
You looked at rankings,
then? We looked at rankings.
Okay, all right.
And the cards held true to form.
All right.
I believe that Looks Like a Cum Cum would probably beat Delaney Diniladu in 3 sets on this surface at least.
Yes, it's true. It's a good serve. Oh, he went for it. He likes to. I like it though. I like that he's not a pusher.
No,
he's definitely not a pusher. He's gonna go for every shot. So it's you're gonna see his stats at the end. Yeah, you see his stats, and it's gonna be a lot of winners and a lot of unforced errors.
Right. But that's the kind of, he just missed that shot by about 5 or 6 feet, and honestly,
lunch is here.
5 or 6 feet, and yet still right back to the next point. It didn't let it bother him. Gave himself a little thigh slap, right back in it. A little bit of frustration, but clears his head, right back to it.
Thomas, how was your day yesterday at Lille Claire? Was it a good day of tennis?
It was a good day of tennis.
Yeah.
4 matches, 2 singles, 2 doubles, 1 C, 3 Bs.
It's not bad.
Another public courts. I mean, I think in Texas and California and Florida, you're going to see lots of courts. I live in New York, so they're a little scarce, unfortunately. But I like the, how many there are. You can play in lots of places here in Houston. They encourage lots of tennis. Even though I think it's still the 7th fattest city in the world. It's still good to have lots of tennis courts. They have resources at least.
It's true.
I mean,
they eat very healthy.
They do. They try.
Yes.
I guess.
They eat cheaply. It's
I
don't really
fantastic last night.
Yeah,
I think we had a taco for 30 cents last night.
Right.
It was great.
I actually ate an entire pig for $6.
Yeah.
Oh, John just gave me a look like I said something dirty.
And his name was
Shut up.
was Michael.
Dirty.
Oh. Nope, just missed the backhand.
So a few errors creeping in here. I'd like to see how John responds to a couple of these errors. We're at 5-all now, and honestly, every single point counts now.
5 alive. Ooh.
Because
getting nervous now. I'm getting down. I love a 5-all tiebreaker or a pro set. I love it. 5-all tiebreakers are great too. Oh.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we should do that for consolations.
Just start with a tiebreaker?
When you get to 5, you automatically play a tiebreaker. Maybe a little bit of like world team tennis action.
What happens here? What are we thinking?
I think John's pretty mentally tough. The way he's been serving.
Do you think he's tired?
I don't. Ladies and gentlemen,
point of the match. Point of the match right there.
Better than anything we saw in John Garika's match.
At least, you got to put the entertaining matches on, at least.
Yeah, those were actually some really tough volleys.
Yeah,
from John,
fantastic.
And Jake stayed in that point. There was a ball that would have hit his chest, but he barely got a racket on it. Really interesting stuff.
That first point is, that's the killer right there. You want to start a 5-all game.
I mean, that could be a really big point for Jake, a confidence builder. He was on the defensive a lot of that point. Comes up with the point in the end. Now he's up love 30. Jake seems to be handling the pace of the serve a little bit better, especially to his backhand side.
I think he's figuring out John a little bit.
Yeah. He's got a little bit more timing than he had early. This is a pretty big opening. We've been saying that a couple times with Jake this weekend. He's had some openings and hasn't necessarily walked through the door, but this is an important time for him.
Love 30, John Whitney serving to Jake Bishop.
I think this would be probably a really good opportunity for John to hit that out wide serve. And Jake read it. He did go with the out wide. Jake
right
read
at the
ball,
right at the feet though.
Right at his feet. So 3 break points now for Jake to go up 6-5, which is again a very dangerous place to be in any set, but especially when your match is only 1 set long.
I like how he's playing though. I like that we're playing doubles next, so I want him to carry this on. It's just good.
But you're not playing any left-handed guys in that doubles match. And
no. Our doubles opponent hits the ball just as hard as John Whitney though.
Bud, yeah, he hits the ball real hard.
Tony Tran from Tampa, Florida. Well, and there's the break.
But Bud is sitting right next to us.
Yes.
And he does not hear us making fun of how hard he hits the ball. He's enjoying his complimentary lunch, courtesy of the HOUTEX leaders.
6-5, Jake Bishop. Again, remember we're going to a pro set. So it's first to 8.
If you were Dick Enberg, you'd say Jake Bishop is 8 points away. I actually, one of my favorite Dick Enberg comments was at the U.S. Open, probably, 10 years ago, maybe more. Monica Seles was playing Dolly Ranrantefi of Madagascar. And Dolly won, held serve in the first game. And Dick Enberg said, 44 points from the biggest upset in the U.S. Open. And I believe I was probably like 16, so this was a long time ago. I remember.
Like so you are that old.
A little jump in the gun there, I guess. Yeah.
I was sitting next to my mom, and my mom looked at me and said, "This is the stupidest sport I have ever heard." I said,
I'll venture to guess that Monica won that match.
Monica won that match, won in love, I believe. No, I think Dolly.
That would have been a better. Yeah, that's a better story.
I think Dolly got a couple of games, but.
Oof.
If Dolly was still around, she might be my tennis alter ego. Not Kai Kanepi, who I love. The pride of Estonia. Spokesmodel for Tallink
Okay,
which
let's
is
go back to this match. I think we're boring our viewers now. I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize.
No.
I'll take his microphone. It's love 15. Love 15, 6 serving 5. We're up a break here. Jake serving.
Good serve.
Big first serve.
Jake with a little fist pump.
It's good. I like the come on. It's very squawky.
Come on. Come on. Also things that we talked about during your match.
What, did I squawk?
You squawked.
I do? I'm not a squawker.
Your squawk is famous. That's another really good serve from Jake. You got a really good angle on that. It helps to be tall. Something I can't speak from experience.
I'm not tall either. Don't worry.
I'm taller than you, so you definitely can't speak from experience. I would like to see a really big serve out wide here.
Oh, he went to the backhand. Went to the backhand again. 2 in a row. That's how you get it done right there. It's 40-15. It's a huge hold here. Solidifies his break and puts the pressure back on John for...
Makes it do or die for John.
Yeah, let's see. Well, we're 40-15.
An interesting second serve from Jake. Kind of kicked up a little higher than I think John expected. John misses the forehand wide, and it is now 5-7.
7-5.
Which is also Garika's height. 5'7".
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not 5'7". I'm 5'9", says my driver's license. All right. Here's all she wrote right now. Let's see how this goes out.
Jake has definitely picked up the momentum.
It's a great pass.
Trying to put the hammer down here.
It's a fantastic shot.
Certainly Jake doesn't want to have to serve for it.
No, it's much better to do it right here. I mean, I think he puts all effort in here. He's broken John the past couple times, so there's no reason he can't break him right now. Just keeps being aggressive. Oof, John just misses that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's tough. That's tough when you're down a break already. Your back's against the wall. It's love 15. You go for it
on his racket. We've seen him hit it well.
We saw him start really well
a couple times earlier today. So, I mean, that's a lot of nerves. You press a little harder when you're down.
It's love 32 points from the match. Jake's gonna really want this point right here.
That ball goes just wide on Jake. 15-30. It's a really big point for John coming up. He can either win this point and be back even in this game, or he's down 2 match points. And ladies and gentlemen, Sloane Stevens has just entered the booth. With her
I love Sloane
headband.
Stevens. Her Under Armour headband is the best. I love when she wears that. She brings some spice to ladies tennis. I love it. I love me some Sloane. I hope she has a good year. It's all about Australia for Sloane.
Yeah.
It's going to set her year off right there.
So what,
I almost want her to lose.
Number 12?
Yeah, I almost want her to lose early so that she can just focus on the rest of the year because she's going to have so much pressure on her down in Australia.
The
pressure that John's feeling right now. The same pressure. 30 all.
Yeah. It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same pressure.
Because John's livelihood is also resting on this match. There's prize money involved. Oh, the net cord.
Wow. But he scooped that ball up
Scooped
from
you know what?
no man's land.
He deserved the net cord winner on that because there's some fantastic volleying right there. I will note that I didn't see John put his hand up to apologize for the net cord.
It wasn't that bad of a net cord.
It's sort of like the courtesy wave when you let someone in on the interstate and they don't wave. That's just a good volley. Gets super far in.
It's fantastic. We're going to let Jake serve out the match here.
That was from love
7-6.
That's a very important game.
Hey, he wants it. I like that. I like to see that determination. You're down love 30. You just say, you know what? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hit as hard as I can. I'm going to do whatever I can right now to get at least a couple points, make your opponent think. But he actually earned it. That was
absolutely.
Jake didn't make any errors. John was aggressive there.
In fact, Jake got some balls back that really tough defensive plays. So Jake will serve. That's 7-6. If John is able to break here, we'll go to a tie break.
We're live from Houston, Texas, everyone. You're watching and listening to the CCE Sports Network, where diversity lives. I'm John Garica, along with Matt Feinberg. We are watching Jake Bishop serve for the match here against John Whitney.
Is this a semi or a quarter?
I'm not sure. It must be a semi.
It's actually neither. It's the consolation match.
Whoa. True.
It is consolation, yes. It could be a semi-consolation.
Yes.
I think Jake got
believe it's the final consolation.
I don't think it's the final.
Is it?
This is Jake's first match. It can't be the final.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, it could be. It's opens. There's only like 6 people in it, but my guess, it's probably a semi.
I'll go check for you guys.
We'll find out.
No, you know what? You don't need to because I can look on my handy mobile device.
Technology, right? It makes us so lazy. We don't have to get up. We just have to look on our phone.
Squirrel is back.
The biggest tennis fan out here.
And he's pretty. I think this could potentially be a let in the making.
I saw a squirrel twerk yesterday. These squirrels are like, it's because this is the hometown of Destiny's Child, so I think there's lots of like music in these squirrels' bones.
When he says squirrel, he means we were at the club last night.
No, the squirrels all over this complex, and it was there he goes again.
A little frustration from John.
Brings us to 30-15.
Just in time for me to get the drop on my phone.
$40 love. No, it's 40 love actually. It's match point here.
Match point, and hopefully I can get this information before the match ends.
You can do a little on-court interview, Matt.
Am I, or do you want to do it?
I think you should.
You want me to do it? It's not over yet. I think.
Oh, that's a great match point. Congratulations to both guys. It was fun to watch. I hope you guys also liked watching at home.
And unfortunately, apparently the cell phone towers are overrun with the boys from the gay tennis tournament using mobile apps. So I think that was a semifinal. I'm going to assume it was a semifinal and say that Jake is in the Open Consolation final, I believe.
So damn good.
And in case you could not hear that, Jake complimenting John, saying, "Your serve is so damn good." We agree, Jake.
Congratulations goes to Jake Bishop. He wins in the 8-game pro set against John Whitney, 8-6.
No post-game interview. He doesn't know.
And before we do the conclusion of the broadcast, Matt Feinberg is going to check real quick to see if that was the semifinal, which I believe it looks like it was. So he'll go on to the finals tomorrow for Consolation. I'll put a note in the bottom of the comments field in a moment. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. I believe we might have one more match in store for the day. I'm going to check over at the registration desk, so don't go anywhere. You're watching live web streaming coverage of HOUTEX 33, presented by the Houston Tennis Club and brought to you by the CCE Sports Network, where diversity lives. Back in a moment.